in the 1920s, American intellectuals flocked to Paris as a form of escapement of their monopoly of their lives and prohibition. They frequented these charming bookshops behind me and gathered for the literary salons. Now you try to imagine two known strangers reunited in Paris right here. Could they actually reunite their amber of loves that smothered by a series of what-ifs and misunderstanding?
Valentine's Day just around the corner, what better time to talk about love? Paris is often considered the most romantic city in the world. From its most iconic architecture to its bustling metro station, what better place to fall in love? In this episode, we will explore the movie Before Sunset, the second film of the trilogy directed by Richard Linklater, starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Deeply. This sequel is set in Paris and reunites Celine and Jesse after years apart.
You don't even.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Why didn't you say something?
I was afraid maybe you didn't want to see
Oh,
me.
all right. Well, listen. What do you want to do?
Maybe we should meet here in 5 years or something.
All right. 5 years. 5 years. That's a long
Yes,
time.
it's awful. It's like a sociological experiment. How about 1 year?
1 year. All right.
1 year.
How about 6 months?
Paris is often idealized as a city of love in American culture. There's lots of American films are talking about the same topic, like The Midnight in Paris, The American Paris, and also our today's films, Before Sunset. So where do you think this romanticized image come from, and how does it compare to the reality of the city?
I think that's an interesting question. I think that this idealized idea of the city of love comes from the fact that Paris used to be the center for many artists in the 18th century. It's also where the Romantic movement started. So I think that's what started this whole city of love thing. But the reality, I think, is much more different than that ideal. I mean, it's like all ideals, right? There's always the reality that clashes with it, and I think it's a much more common phenomenon for big metropolis to find. A lot of people find it hard to find love because of there's so many people, and it's much more difficult to find someone that fits you. But despite all of that, I think that Paris stays a very romantic place with beautiful architecture, beautiful streets, beautiful monuments, and I think it's one of the best places to fall in love. So definitely, yeah.
So what do you think about this, what I can think is kind of a craziness of Americans towards the city?
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's cute, and in my opinion, I don't think maybe it's the truth for all French people. I think a lot of French people find that ridicule. I think it's cute because it's still it gives a bit of magic to the place, even though sometimes a big city can be anxious, can be everything goes fast. We have a saying in French that says métro boulot dodo. It's like you take the metro, you go to work, and then you sleep. And it's like that can be very boring, but with the fact of romanticizing it, I think makes it all more beautiful.
Yes, because what I think is the romance of Paris sort of ingrained in the US popular culture. Like you see lots of films and TV series, if like two couples want to get together and do a honeymoon, they would choose Paris, for example. Yes, this is quite common things.
Yeah.
So speaking of love, I mean, there's different kinds of loves, and there's different ways that love can end. Some people may think that okay, love is meant for forever, love will last in eternity, but some people think it's more like a fleeting sensation, etc., etc. But eventually, we've got to say goodbye to one of our loves. So, how do you deal with saying goodbye to?
How do I deal with saying goodbye personally?
Yes.
I think it's inevitable. We all say goodbye in some ways, like to friendships, to love, and it's hard, but I mean, nothing is forever in this life. Everything is temporary, and as you say, like you can't. Um, I think that this vision of love being an experience and not something that it lasts forever is beautiful, and you get to live in the present and get something out of it, and it's cherish the memory forever. And I think that if you see it as a beautiful thing rather than holding on to this sad idea, I think that it's just beautiful. I try not to get too nostalgic, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. So my last question for you is, I want to know your takes on love. Do you prefer that the love is something that can last forever, or love is all about living, experiencing, and right in the moment? What do you think about that?
I think that seeing love as something that lasts forever is a bit idealistic, and I think that while it can be beautiful, and I think that sometimes it may happen, I think it's unrealistic to think of that as the only way love happens. I think there's lots of different loves, first loves, like you fall in love, in and out of love many times, and also exactly, and there's friendship, and there's so many different loves. So I think it's dangerous to see love as only something that lasts forever, one love, first love that lasts the whole lifetime. And even if you stay with the same person, I think you fall in and out of love with a person because we change all the time.
So basically, I can say it's quite dangerous that we confuse the idea of love and, for example, say dependence in a way. Right?
Yeah, maybe, or it's also, I think it comes from this romanticized idea, I think, of having one soulmate that completes us, and that's all forever.
You
So,
don't
yeah.
believe in that?
I think, no, I don't believe in it.
You don't believe
No, no.
So Fernanda, the Valentine's Day draws near. I want to ask you, what's your definition of love? How can you describe it?
Well, I think love is such a complex and difficult topic to explain because can be everything: the love of a partner, the love of a mother, or lots of friendship.
Yeah.
For me, love is like giving unconditionally without expecting anything else in return. So, for example, when I think of love, I think of love of my parents, something that, for example, I was lucky to have this love when I grew up. And yes, that's it.
So I'm more interested in this concept of unconditional love. What do you think? What does it mean to you? And in what kind of aspect is we can actually give someone the unconditional love?
Do you mean in which sense? Like,
Yes. In what situations, to what kind of people that we can show our unconditional love?
yes, I mean like for your partner, but also for your friends, your family, and I think love is something that you don't think too much. Like something you feel, and you also you give without like being aware. I don't know.
Yes.
Me, for example, I haven't experienced like a romantic type of love because
Yes.
I haven't have like a meaningful relationship or something like that.
Yes.
I think I experienced more love with my family, with my friendships. So, and I think that also maybe we have idolized idea of love. Also, for example, love in Paris of a perfect relationship to find like your soulmate. But I think love can also be like in the small things, with your family, with your friends, like having fun, share a gift. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm more interested in this romantic side of love. So more like a partnership and maybe husband and wife, marriage, this kind of love. So, what is your imaginations? What is for you is the best scenario of this romantic love? What is
Like for
what
me,
yes? What does it look like?
is-
What's your imagination?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Something can be like a relationship when I feel like um, more. I feel myself without worrying about the other people think. I feel I care for the other, but also I think I see like the other is also caring for me. I don't know.
Yes.
Um,
Like when you think of the other ones, then he or she will be always there. More like that.
yes,
So
yes.
it's like,
I'm maybe not like the person of your life. I
Yes.
don't know. Because I'm scared that I share all my life with the same person at the same time. But at the same time, I want someone to share my life with. But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't want to have like this too idealized idea. You know, it can be. I don't know.
all right. So let's get back a little bit to this idea of unconditional love. So if we offer someone unconditional love, which also means that we are exposed, we are maybe felt
Yes,
vulnerable
yes.
to the love, and we feel a little bit insecure. We don't know how much how much love that the other person can give us back. So, do you think it's still worth it to show this unconditional love?
Yes, I think it's worth it because I think love is expressed. I think more in the difficult moments. For example, when you share your emotions and you're vulnerable, you see like maybe the real part, the real emotive part of the other person. So and also yes, it can be hurtful. Maybe you can have a broken heart. It can be, but yes, I think that's life. Maybe as a way to grow up, to be more mature, and yes, also yes, maybe also for the other thing I was saying that we have this positive idea of love, like to idealize that is perfect, but love is also difficult. It's also, for example, when I see love of my parents because they have been together for so many years.
Wow.
And sometimes yes, they have difficult moments, but um, they are still together. So maybe that is my idea of love.
Yes. So, let's try to put in a word. It's still worth a shot. No, to love someone and to be loved is still worth a shot. So today we're going to talk about the films before sunset, and the films will tell us these really beautiful stories about two people whose paths keep crossing, as if they are meant to be. Do you believe these kinds of encounters, and do you believe these very romantic ideas of soulmates?
I think yes, I want to believe it because I think it's just beautiful the way they tell the story that you're destined together. So even in 10 years, you will meet that person again if you're in love. But also, I don't know how much of it is destiny and how much is it just us doing it subconsciously. Because, for example, in the movie, the main character has this book trip, that tour for promotion.
Yeah.
And he knows that the girl he was in love with is French, and then he finishes the tour in France. And it's like, I don't know if it's a coincidence, honestly. I think subconsciously, if we love someone, we will put ourselves into places or situations where we can pass by that person accidentally. And maybe we don't do it consciously. It's just our bodies being like, yeah, I want to meet that person. I will put myself there where I can meet them again, just hoping it will happen. And usually it happens. And I don't think it's just destiny. I think it's also just our actions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this kind of romanticisms in the films, the really important factors that actually drawing us as audience to this film to think, okay, this is really romantic and the love stories on that. But do you think it's realistic? Do you think it's just something that happened in reality?
I don't know how much of realistic it is, but I want to believe it is possible. And I know people which had been in the situation like this, that happened, that they came back to each other and then live happy ever after. But I don't think it's often. Sometimes it can be even harmful when you had very bad breakup and then you just romanticize, oh yeah, maybe we'll meet each other in 10 years or something, it will be better. And then you romanticize that person instead of moving on and healing after the breakup. And you're just thinking, yeah, in 10 years we'll meet and it will be like from the movies. And then I think it's not really the best to think that way, but it's hard because sometimes maybe that's what helps you during the breakup.
Yes.
So I know it's really not black and white.
Okay. But out of the curiosities, like say, like 10 years later, do you still have the interest of seeing like one of your exes? Do you think this is possible for you, or do you think, this is not the things I really want to do? Because over 10 years, a lot of things changes, and you have to maybe different lives. What do you think about that?
Oh wow! Actually, I had a breakup 1 month ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm still like, yeah, maybe we'll meet in 10 years. But I know it's very maybe delusional. But I think it's hard to answer, honestly, because, yeah, we will change, but maybe we'll change in a way that will suit better. But maybe we'll change in a way and you will just forget that person and you'll be like, yeah, I don't care anymore.
Yes.
So it's really hard. But I think seeing your ex in 10 years could be interesting experience for sure.
Yes.
Maybe not to be in love again, but it would be nice to go out for a coffee and maybe see how they're doing and how they changed.
Yeah.
If they changed for better or for worse. It's
Yes.
interesting for
It's
sure.
interesting. Basically, give each other's updates. You know
yeah.
what's happening in your life, and whether or not you're still holding the same affection towards
Yeah.
him or her. It's sort of have this sense of a completion, I would say, in their life. That you want to know the whole picture and all that, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think so. In order to tell the good stories and to shoot the good films, exactly like the films before Sunset, what makes what I think is more attractive, more charming about this film is that these two people didn't go together. They didn't have the happy ever after. So make this films, particularly I don't know how to call it the specific feelings, but yeah. So it's basically the center themes of the films. The segregation, because they are just kept bumping into each other's lives, but they didn't get together in the end. And what do you think about this? And what do you think? We are holding certain kinds of regret in love, and do you think that things that we can pass over, or we can just carry it with, this with our whole life? What do you think about it?
Thinking about regret, it's really complicated topic as well. I think it's never black and white, but I think we should never regret love for sure, because I think maybe love is not about loving someone and being with that person forever. What if love is for being with that person in love now and not thinking, oh yeah, we'll be together forever and I'm thinking about the future with that person? What if we would just stay in the present and enjoy the fact that we are in love now? And if our ways are going different ways, then just say goodbye and we shouldn't regret it. Because I think everything, even if it was a bad relationship, it taught us something. If it was a good relationship, then maybe even better. So I think we should never regret love. But if it's hard if we have regrets, for example, oh, maybe I should have fought for that person.
Yeah.
Or what if...
This is the common thoughts.
Yeah.
I should have tried harder like that.
Yeah, and that's really difficult to move on when you have those regrets because, yeah, it's love. I think nothing with love it comes easy. So I think it's not easy to fall in love with a person. Yeah, you get a crush, but it takes time to be fully in love. And I think it takes time to move on after. The same with regrets. But yeah, I think our job is to just not have any regrets in life and just learn the lesson.